I'd like to say something about the doctrine of signatures, as it's called. And no, I'm not talking about the U.S. Constitution or the Monroe Doctrine. I'm not even talking about the doctrine of signatures used by herbalists and doctors all the way back to Galen. I'm more referring to how mystics like Jakob Böhme use the term, signatures, that everything signals or is somehow a sign of its own nature and use. And I'm also leaning toward what in the East is called the Great Seal, also called Mahamudra, or Dzogchen, or Maha-Ati, that the natural world itself is a gesture and perfectly reflects the true nature of the mind, perfect reflection. And most of all, I'm simply saying that as I progress in life, that is a kind of way of saying I'm getting older, right? But as I progress in life, but I mean here, rather than aging, I'm talking about some kind of spiritual progression. And I should remark that it totally amazed me when I first discovered that the Tibetan masters have biographies, the great Tibetan saints or yogis. They have biographies called namtar, where the simple facts of life, like where you went to school, your personal circumstances, and so on, they're not in the biography. Instead, only the teleological progression of spiritual changes or events in life, spiritual events, are recorded. I mean, how great is that for those of us who are interested in spiritual progress? How forward-looking, how different than here in the West where biographies are mostly all circumstantial and the spiritual changes are usually left out or very rare. What a flip. Anyway, I'm most interested in the spiritual changes in myself and in you, in other people. With most of my friends, the first thing I ask them, or at least that I want to ask them, is, what's new spiritually? What are you going through? What have you been thinking about lately? And what gets you up in the morning? That kind of thing. There is always change at the core of each of us, somewhere deep down, or way in there, or far somewhere, but still there. And changes at the core, as we know from science, control the entire periphery. So spiritual changes control our attitude. And our attitude, like the sails of a boat, is how we take the winds of change that life offers. And it therefore dictates in what direction we're headed. Now, I hope that makes sense to you. Think about it. As I grow older and hopefully spiritually a little more adept, I feel somewhat like a blind man feels along the corridor of my life for change. I'm way beyond drawing any kind of spiritual conclusion from the flotsam and jetsam of what I see out there in my outer life. The whole cyclic turmoil in which we're all immersed. What they call samsara, the Buddhists do. But I am gradually drawing my physical conclusion day after day. I'm getting near the end of it. Like the blind, I feel within me changes happening, and I do watch for signs of these changes in my outer life. I particularly love the analogy of a school of fish, which randomly set here and there in the ocean, yet on some hidden clue that I don't know, they suddenly school, and all of the fish point in the same direction, and this in like in a flash. The cues of life around me seem to do this too. And this is what I mean by signature. That's what I'm getting at here. Everything in life signals or signs something. And we all read sign language to one degree or another. And it's when those signs school or cluster that I'm forced to pay more attention. It's like those pictures embedded within a picture that we suddenly see the inner picture. That's what I mean by signs here, and I'm sure that you have them also. I use the word see here, but I mean more like feel. And I live for those thought-free moments when life offers a crystal clear image of reality, of what is true, of truth. Because I know that it is this truth that can tell the future, that speaks of the future. Because, as I like to share here, what is true is the future. Because while other things will fade in time, the truth will last until then. The truth will last until the future. That's what makes it the truth. So I cast my net into the sea of sense, and I retrieve the odd sign now and again of what is real. And I can't help but, like a fortune cookie, read it. And we all have our heroes. My hero of heroes is the great Mahasiddha Tilopa, one of the lineage masters of Mahamudra, of which I hopefully am a member, who left these 6 phrases of advice for me and for those of us who will listen. And he said the following, and I'll end with that. Don't prolong the past. Don't invite the future. Don't think. Don't analyze. Don't control. Just rest in the nature of the mind.